All right, today we're talking about Blaufrankisch, a wine that really needs a nickname badly. Hey, welcome back to Drinking It In. I am your host, Chris Casara. We are here to help you know more and drink better, and today is all about Blaufrankisch. Much like Gruner Veltliner, which is also now known as Groovy or just Gruner, Blaufrankisch it currently has an identity problem. I think people see the long word and they just immediately get scared away. So I feel like we need to start referring to these. We need a nickname, right? I'm going to refer to these wines going forward as Frankies. I'm not sure if that's going to work since this is also known as Lemberger in Germany and in the U.S. But we're gonna press on. We're going with Frankie. I did put chapters with timestamps in the description if you just want to go directly to the tasting and you don't want to stay for all of the knowledge that I'm going to drop on you in a moment. But I would not recommend you do that. Right? There's a lot of good things for us to talk about Blaufrankisch. So Frankie has characteristics. It's a red wine, right? It has characteristics of Grand Cru Beaujolais, Northern Rhone Syrah, Nebbiolo, which when you think of those guys combined, it's a really neat trio. But the more I taste these wines, and this one in particular is from Austria, I realize that they're really unique. They are unique. And Blaufrankisch, like I said, is also known as Lemberger. Its home is, like I would say, is Austria, right? Hungary also does Blaufrankisch well. Germany does well with the grape too. There it's called Lemberger. But I've had some Blaufrankisches. I've had some Frankies from the Finger Lakes that have stopped me in my tracks. Finger Lakes in New York, northern part of the state. I mean, typically these wines are like a mix of black and red fruit. Got some dark chocolate notes, some black pepper. Could get some clove and allspice, those types of warm baking spices. They're medium bodied. They're medium to high in acid. There are some tannins in these wines. I would say they're generally medium. So you'll feel the tannins, but they won't overwhelm you. But every now and then you get a wine that has a little extra grip. These wines go really well with burgers and steaks. Don't overthink it. And also you can pair this wine with the new wave of British heavy metal from the 80s. Like put on a little Iron Maiden, pour a glass of Blaufrankisch, and you're just a lucky human being. If you're planning way ahead, right, I'm recording this in early March, this can be a great Thanksgiving wine because it can play lighter and heavier all at the same time, which works well through one of those meals. I am currently looking for Blaufrankisch wines for my cellar. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think there's some potential for high-end producers to even become collectible in the near future. And when I say collectible, I kind of mean similar to Grand Cru Beaujolais in that all of a sudden everybody's looking for them, the price is going up, but they're still going to be manageable from a budget perspective. I keep an eye out specifically for wines from Burgenland in Austria, or even more specific, like the Middle Burgenland. From a producer's perspective, it all starts with Mauric. I've gotten a lot of education on Mauric from Fast Selections and his mailers. Another producer I also like is Heinrich. Some others I've had really good experience with are Marcus Altenberger and Nittenhaus as well. If you're looking for specific bottles to stick in your cellar, 2021, 2022, great vintage to look out for in Europe. Let's talk about the Finger Lakes. So the Finger Lakes, and if you're abbreviating the Finger Lakes, it's FLX, not FL, right? If you refer to the Finger Lakes as FL in the presence of a local, you're going to get some serious heat. I'm speaking from experience. In that region, I like the wines from Dr. Constantine Frank, as well as Red Tail Ridge. Now, I've never had a Blaufrankisch from Chapika, but it has some serious folks behind it. It has a great reputation, and that team includes well-known master sommelier Pascaline Lapeltier, and she's also involved in a bunch of restaurants in Manhattan. So, since my knowledge for the Finger Lakes Blaufrankisch wines were a little light, right? I wanted to get some help from my Instagram expert friends, because I have a couple of guys that just cover, they know everything there is to know about Finger Lakes wines. They both mentioned Red Tail Ridge, so keep that in mind as perhaps a top priority. Also, what was added was Cayuga Spring Vineyard, which is different than Cayuga Lake, so keep that in mind. And then wines from Lakewood and Hector Wine were mentioned as well. Now, the last two are smaller in nature, and both are labeled Lemberger, so keep that in mind. And because the production might not lend itself to really wide distribution, you might have to make a visit up north to grab them. So many thanks to Adrian and Eric Hiltz. So Adrian is at wino_dino_. I think it's wino_dino. It could be wino_dino, wino_dino. I'm not sure. And Eric Hiltz, bin412 wine, for the help. Hey, now it's time to taste. Okay, so I already poured this wine. I mean, you can kind of see relatively dark. I've been drinking a bit of Nebbiolo lately, and they're very light to when you look at them. So this is Evolucio Blaufrankisch. This is from Vineland in Austria, and it is a 2018. I'll keep that up on the screen for you guys so you can see it. Hopefully we like the wine, and then you can go out and buy it. I didn't do much research on a producer. I literally went to the wine store, and my one focus was hopefully getting a bottle of Blaufrankisch. Whether that was from Austria, Germany, Hungary, Finger Lakes, or Washington State, or Australia. They actually do some Blaufrankisch in Australia. But we got Austria, which is probably what you'll find. Ooh, interesting. So the first note I got was like a black plum that's been sitting on an asphalt driveway in a little bit of heat. There's like a graphite asphalty type of nose to this. That I think I had described some spices that kind of pop up. This has a bit of I'm going to call it a bit of a clove vibe. Perhaps some blackberries too. Blackberries, plums, clove, asphalt, graphite. And the plums have been cooking on the asphalt. Let's give it a taste. This particular one reminds me more of a Nebbiolo than a Grand Cru Beaujolais or like a Northern Rhone Syrah. It actually has some light and refreshing fruit on the palate. The fruit is almost coming across as a little more like a red cherry, which is really kind of funky because blackberries and plums don't normally equal red cherry on the palate. There was, I definitely got some tingling back here. The acid is very present. This one has very manageable medium tannins. This is a really easy, I would say this is an easy drinking Blaufrankisch. Yeah, that asphalt note is, I like it. You don't taste it. It doesn't taste like you're licking asphalt, but it's a fun note to smell in a wine. So I think if you are a Nebbiolo drinker, if you're a Pinot Noir drinker, if you are kind of bored with some of your Beaujolais or even a Mencia wine from Spain, well, I don't know how you would be bored with any of those, but I think Blaufrankisch fits right in the middle. I could see this being, I want to say this could be a decent beginner's wine after the person has some exposure to red wines and they want to kind of go next level. You don't have to be like, we don't have to be super serious about wine, but I think this one is something that I would is friendly enough that I would introduce it to someone who is maybe still finding their path in the wine world. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for so much for joining me. Hey, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. It really would. It really does. If you made it this far, God bless you, and I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.